Squid Game Season 3. Those are words, and I said them at the start of the video to signify that it's a video about that. Ooh. Yeah. I actually watched it when it came out, and not like 3 years after it was relevant. Like with the first season, I was like, oh, that looks cool, but then I never got around to watching it, and I felt like I was never gonna watch it because the hype had died down. But then Season 2 came out, and I ended up watching the first and second season. I knew that there was like a sort of twist at the very end of the first season, and some people didn't like it, and I was in that group too. I thought it was pretty bad and just kind of went against what the whole concept was, and it's that literally anyone can die at any moment. You have all of these characters that you get invested in, and you're always at the edge of your seat, and it could just be, boom, taken from you. That has always been there. That's like the whole concept of the show, or it's like intertwined with it, and that twist just took it away. And with this new season, I knew from a friend that the finale was controversial, and I asked if it was because for artistic reasons or because they were stupid and didn't write a good finale, and he said it was because it was for artistic reasons. You know, like, oh, that was a weird, wacky ending that did stuff, and I guess it fell into that. It was more open-ended, and it did some interesting things with the characters that I will get to. But in regards to like the season overall, apparently that was less liked, but I liked it fine enough, along with season 2. The weird thing with this season is that it's just season 2 part 2, and that was like literally confirmed. It was like split in half, just so the series could stay a little more relevant, and just so Netflix could have subscribers. And I think that actually just kind of might have actually ruined the show for most people. For me, I just kind of realized, oh shit, they just cut it in half, and it wasn't meant to be told in this way, because season 3 comes off just more of the same from season 2. Like it's more Squid Game and more themes of democracy that like season 2 delved more into. So I think people were disappointed, or I think that might have, with that in mind, it just being more of the same and not just some interesting way of ending the story, like with it being cut in half and it being like a third season, might have like tempered the experience for some. And you also have this whole month, you have a couple of months, and people will get like invested with the characters a lot more when they come back for a new season, and the fucking best characters just get killed. That's probably gonna hurt. But like it has always been like that from the start. It's like, yeah, people are complaining like, oh, it's just people I don't give a shit about in the finale. But like, it's always been like that. But I will say, with this season 2 part 2, you have like the situation for gi-hun is just getting worse and worse. He's in the low spot with his character. He ends up hurting people intentionally instead of just he goes out and actually hurts people out of revenge, which is not something he would typically do, and he ends up regretting this. And but all of these characters dying too. All he has left is the baby from one of the people he got to know, and some of the best characters like literally helped with the birth of the baby. And with all of them dead, all we have left is the baby. That baby felt like everything that was left of those people. So that baby felt like the symbol of hope, and he had to like take care of that. But even with like everyone dying and you have like the worst people left, He, the front man, he tries to pressure him into like killing the other contestants, so that he and the baby can win. And this obviously sets up the idea that gi-hun could become the next front man. We get like clips of the front man going through the same thing when he was like a player, and it kind of clips between those two. But gi-hun ends up not doing it in the end. But even then, the idea is still there. Even if he ends up killing someone just to get to the end of the game, the frontman's point of worldview would be proven right. So when it's only gi-hun and the baby at the end, I think people are kind of missing the point when they're like, oh, he shouldn't have killed himself. Or even worse, some people are like, oh, you should have killed the baby. It kind of proves that the mindset of the games have like gotten to people who are fucking watching the show about how the games are bad. The fact that he kills himself, the fact that gi-hun kills himself literally proves the frontman wrong. And we literally see the aftermath of this. He gives the baby, because the baby wins, he gives the baby to his brother with the prize money, and he gives gi-hun's prize money to his daughter. Like, he didn't need to do any of that, but he tries his best to like turn over a new leaf of sorts. And he calls him a friend too, and which is interesting, considering he was like doing an inside job, like pretending to be a player, and like messing with gi-hun from the inside. He was practically doing that through most of season 2, part 1, even though he was like acting like he was a sort of friend. I guess that kind of recontextualizes that a bit. But yeah, I think that is a neat way to wrap up those two characters. I think it's conceptually pretty cool that we have the antagonist losing by the main character killing themselves. Like, that sounds just fucking weird, but raw conceptually. And I think the actual moment where he kills himself is actually just kind of powerful. It's weird. gi-hun, throughout all of the fucking pain and shit that he's seeing and going through, he stays the way he is. He like literally represents the humanity in people. That greed won't get the best of some. There is hope here. Even with all of everything that's going on, there is hope. With all of the characters dying, I just had to accept that, because that's what the game is like. It just got worse and worse, but it was just something that was gonna happen. So I was just hoping for something. Just some sort of happy ending. Just something that wasn't like a bad situation. And there was still hope in that ending we got. And that made me happy. That the hope came through in the end. A sort of happy ending. The games were stopped. Like, the front man was stopped. He had to explode the entire island. He had to explode everything at the island with the bomb that was set up from season 1, which is neat. Like, yeah, I think people missed the point. Like, they wanted some happy fairy tale ending, but no. Like, yeah, it wasn't like the saddest ending ever. I don't think, oh, it's supposed to be sad and bitter. I don't think it's sad and bitter. Like, it's more bittersweet. Everything got to a low point, but at least we came through in the end. With hope. With the game ending, at least. Even with everyone pretty much dying. And that's kind of what the baby represents. Hope. Like, yeah, the baby, it's a CG baby. It's easy to laugh at. Like, I did that too, but it's TV budget. It doesn't just there being a weird looking CG baby, that doesn't ruin the show. I saw one random comment. I'm not gonna generalize everyone as a CG baby hater. That's fine. But this person was like, as soon as I saw this thing, it ruined the season. Bruh. You don't even... How do you even watch any sort of piece of media when this is your take? Okay, yeah, it does leave some stuff open-ended. But that's kinda, I think that's kind of like a result of it, like, being this bittersweet ending. I think some stuff is over-exaggerated with how much is, like, left unsaid. The two brothers, their plot line is left a little open-ended. He isn't really able to say much. I can understand the complaints there, but I also kind of wish something happened, but I'm also not really too mad about it. Like, the games are literally ended. I love open-ended endings. Like, stuff like Cube. That has a open-ended ending, which is very purposeful to, like, the themes. So I think this show having an open-ended ending, isn't something I'm, like, too mad about, because, okay, let's say that maybe there is something that should have actually been answered. But, because I love open-ended endings, on a subconscious level, I'm not gonna mind too much about that one thing that should have been answered. But yeah, there is one thing that I don't like. After watching the episode, I thought that that was the one thing everyone hated on. And that ruined the entire episode or something, but yeah, the American Squid Game setup, that's stupid. I don't really like it. The ending works fine enough like, the final scene works fine enough as a final scene, but I would have preferred something else. But, it's not really the creator's fault that that his idea that an IP by Netflix was milked to death. Like, that's just capitalism. I'm just gonna say some general thoughts. There are some other things I want to say. Like, the games are still good, and the second episode is probably the best one this season. It's probably the best one since season 1. Watching that episode, there is actually some stuff I want to mention here. The ending caught me a little bit off guard. Everything else was, like, pretty great, but watching this, I was like, wait a minute, is that something that character would really do? But actually, like, sitting down to think about it, it made sense. Because of motherhood, and the fact that it's a stressful situation. Of course you're gonna do something without really thinking about it sometimes. There was stuff in this season, like I said, this season was supposed to be one singular season. I think starting to watch season 3, it kind of shows, like I said. Because this show has a lot of stuff going on, because it's like a TV show with a lot of plot lines. It's a lot to keep track of, and since this was supposed to be one singular season, it shouldn't have been cut in half, because then you have to, like, remember all of the stuff that happened. Of course you're gonna remember some of it, because since this is cut in the middle, some of it is gonna be hard to remember, because the story didn't end. So it brings up specific stuff that you're supposed to remember. And you'll be like, okay, I remember that a little bit, but not fully. And even with that second episode, it's like thinking about how the characters have been up to this moment and how they've acted, their development. It kind of made sense with what happened in that episode and the next one when I thought about it. Or that might not be as clear because the season was cut in half. Netflix was definitely to blame here. Like I said, capitalism, blah 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 blah, words. Yeah, I don't have much else to say. Like I said, capitalism, words, words, words. If you're interested in more stuff like this, just unscripted ramblings, then be sure to subscribe. Or you can check out my other channel where I upload stuff that's scripted, or art and music and stuff. That's about it. Capitalism, baby.